It's so funny, you know, working with students, they always have you meet at like odd hours, and I was meeting with one of the Latino fraternities on like Friday night, and I heard this girl standing by, and she said to this boy, like, "You're a conservative?" And he said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Why? They hate us." And I was like, "I'm a conservative." And it started this conversation between probably about 10 of us, all, you know, under 25 Hispanics, and we were just sitting there. And we all started this conversation, and the biggest misconception is that we don't care, and that we don't take the time to actually build a relationship or build that trust. And so, you know, what I try to tell a lot of my conservative colleagues is that we can't win the votes of these demographics if they think that we don't care. Because all of you know, they see this, that the Democrats, doesn't necessarily matter what they're putting forward, but they think, oh, what they're putting forward has to help me because they care about me. Whatever the Republicans are putting forward can't help me because they don't care about me. And so that's a huge misconception that we need to get over. And that's what I was trying to say in my opening remarks is sometimes we need to remember that people digest information differently depending on their culture, their frame of reference. And so some of the terms that we use can be just instant turnoffs. I've met a lot of Hispanics who agree with the center-right position on immigration, but because we're screaming, oh, Shamnesty, or oh, Marco Scrubio, like go back to Cuba, it's over. Like we lost that voter. Not because they disagree with us on our principles, but because of how we were talking to them. So respect is a huge thing. We need to start that dialogue, and it needs to be respectful. And you know, that should be something that we focus on, is how we're marketing this message to different demographics. We don't all process information the same way. We don't all, you know, you and I might hear a message from from Boehner, and you might take something differently than I did. But it's not because he said something different. We just have a different frame of reference. So that's something that we need to look at more closely, I think, moving forward if we want to grow the conservative movement.
I think the same is true when it comes to getting the women's vote, right? I mean, women are naturally more empathetic. They have this sense of caring, this sense of nurturing, right? And when you see, I mean, to go back to the social media conversation, at least initially we're much better about it now, but initially, you know, all the social media you would see coming out of the right was like this red picture with like red and black, and there's Obama, and it would be like, Obama hates you and is killing your children, right? And like, that's a huge turnoff for women. Or when women hear, you know, Republicans don't care about the poor. There was a great Jonathan Chait headline yesterday about the food stamp vote versus the farm subsidy vote that said, you know, Republicans, we were too nice to poor people, but don't worry, we fixed that, right? And that sort of narrative is incredibly unhelpful. And to some extent, you can't control the liberal media, and that's why social media is such a wonderful thing for letting us take back the narrative, to say, like, no, let's explain and have an honest conversation about food stamps and the rise in SNAP benefits. I think that that's something that will continue and will help us win women voters in the future, but it's just something we have to be very careful about as the Republican Party, because I think we can come off as screamy and negative, and we hate illegal immigrants, and we hate immigrants, period, and, you know, we hate poor children, and that's something that, you know, that just turns you off.
As women, we are nurturers, and we are empathetic. But the other side of that is when women and moms know the truth, and when we give information and those analytics. I was talking about this earlier. Dr. Peg Lessig talks about why are there all these women out fighting against education and what's going on in the education system. And she said, a man will stand in the line of fire for his child. He will die for his child. A mother will kill. And so, armed with truth, there is nothing that will stop. Me as a mother, I get up every single day and fight the good fight because of my children. They are the next generation. And I will not die without trying to get them truth. And they know it. They're embarrassed by me a lot. But now they've kind of come full circle where my daughter, who has, you know, she doesn't have the mom at home who's, you know, doing crafts with her. She's got this crazy political activist mom who's not home. And she said, Mom, I just want you to know I appreciate what you're doing because I know it's for the future. So there's something powerful in channeling that anger and truth at the same time.